Dearly beloved, we're here to get through this thing called deep dives and music reviews. Centric word music, that means forever, and that's a very long time. I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The final grade. Something that will always determine my never-ending happiness. You could always watch my videos, day or night. So when you see that grade at the end of the video, you might lose your mind, you might not lose your mind. Instead of asking how long this intro will be, how much time will you take out of your day to watch this video? In this life, you only get one. Being on your own ain't easy. So whenever you're down, fuck this, fuck that. Whenever you're down, go crazy. Hit it, Mochi.
Way with us before, remember?
Nominees for Best Actor.
Ooh, that was fun. Back to the topic at hand, or rather, record at hand. Purple Rain is the 1984 release from none other than Prince. This month marks the 10 years of his unfortunate passing back in 2016. So, which makes this video a tribute to his magnum opus, to his otherwise ginormous catalog. Before getting into the album itself, we need to go over how this album came to be. This album was the follow-up to his 1982 release in 1999. It was the first commercial breakthrough that brought his best hits by that point, such as Little Red Corvette and Delirious. The project itself blended funk, synthpop, and new wave, which was something that he was riding high on, especially on his first 3 records. The creation of this 1984 project involved a couple of things. The song Purple Rain was almost a country duet, believe it or not. Prince originally wrote the song as a country track and sent a 10-minute instrumental to Stevie Nicks, asking her to write the lyrics. She turned it down, admitting she felt overwhelmed by the intimidating length and beauty of the piece. During a 6-hour rehearsal with his band, The Revolution, the song shifted toward a rock gospel ballad direction that we know it for today. Guitarist Wendy Melvoin contributed the iconic chords that changed the song's entire emotional direction. Prince was quite worried about the song sounding too much like Journey's Faithfully, so he called the keyboardist Jonathan Cain for approval before releasing it. The recording and production process was unlike most albums. It was recorded live. Songs like the title track, I Would Die For You, and Baby I'm a Star were recorded during a benefit concert at the First Avenue nightclub at Minneapolis on August 3rd, 1983, which is the same place that he actually debuted the band as The Revolution. Prince refined these tracks in the studio, adding string arrangements and cutting the title track down from its original 13-minute length. Director Albert Magnoli asked for one more song to fit a specific montage. Prince returned the next day with When Doves Cry, famously deciding to remove the bass line entirely to make the track feel more percussive and raw. Lastly, there was the making of the movie of the same title. It was shot over 42 days in late 1983, primarily in Minneapolis. It was a semi-autobiographical film which mirrored Prince's life somewhat, featuring real-life band rivalries with the time and his own struggles in the local music scene. It's a good movie for sure, but I don't think some parts of the movie aged all that well, particularly the parts where Morris Day is mostly treating his dancers more like props, which is kind of gross. Real highlights of the film are when Prince and the Revolution actually performed the songs from the album. I would warn you because this movie has some dark undertones. In fact, it alludes to someone unaliving themselves, and Prince literally has those thoughts in the movie too. So viewer discretion is advised. So I've already established that Purple Rain had a lot going for it, and it definitely showcased how hungry Prince was for the level of showmanship that he showcases. But with that out of the way, let's get into this track list. We're starting off with a wild-ass opener. The song opens up with a monologue with a preachy-like delivery to set the stage for the life and death struggle described in the song. There are some religious undertones in the beginning with the elevator line as an allegory for the battle between God and Satan. At the time, overt religious themes were considered taboo in the pop radio. The core theme of Let's Go Crazy means staying happy, focused, and spiritually liberated enough to ignore societal pressures and evil. I've been living by this line day by day since I first listened to it. The climax of the song is such a bombastic finish, and I can't get enough of that guitar solo he whips out on the back end. The recording of this track was a massive undertaking handled by Susan Rogers, who was a rookie engineer at the time. The track features the Linn LM1 drum machine, which provided the synth funk heartbeat of the Minneapolis sound. Prince played his famous Mad Cat Telecaster through Mega Boogie amplifiers and a chain of Boss pedals to get that screaming high octave lead tone. He decided that the live version from the First Avenue concert was too frantic, so he re-recorded the basic tracks at the warehouse in St. Louis Park. Rogers had to wire a massive rectangular rehearsal space into a functioning studio with no band isolation. So yeah, this one is an amazing opener. Quite literally sounds like Raspberry Beret. This song was never intended for Prince. In fact, it was written and recorded for the debut of one of his proteges, Apollonia 6. He liked the song so much that he pulled it from the tracklist and at the 11th hour to use it for himself. Putting the song into this tracklist forced Prince to heavily edit a few tracks to make room for it. The song opens up with an 8-bar sequencer of Roheim synth and Simmons SDS-V electronic drum kit. Prince famously played the electronic drums to sound like an acoustic kit, giving it a unique breathing energy. I love the strings, which were arranged by David Coleman, which adds to the breezy romantic feel that contrasts with the darker, funkier tracks on the album. There are breathless vocal exchanges from Apollonia Kotero, while Prince took the lead. Despite her being a relatively inexperienced singer, he layered her voice with a ghostly vocals from Lisa Coleman and Jill Jones to create a fuller sound. While it's my least favorite track out of the others, it's still very good. I also like how it plays to the movie, as Prince takes Apollonia on a ride in his custom 1981 Honda-Matic. That's real. That's a real thing. The song plays very nicely into the romantic relationship that goes into the film. So yeah, good song. Get your tissue boxes ready, because this is our first ballad that we get here. While credited to Prince and the Revolution, this is one of the few songs on this album that Prince brings his most valuable skill, being a multi-instrumentalist, because he performed every fucking instrument and vocal part himself. The song replaced a track called Electronic Intercourse on the final Purple Rain tracklist. Lisa Coleman noted, Prince ultimately chose The Beautiful Ones because it better suited the film's emotional arc. Speaking of the film, within the context of it, the lyrics serve as an urgent appeal to Apollonia to choose Prince over his rival Morris Day. The paradox is to suggest that the beautiful ones, the people that are shallow or narcissistic, will hurt you every time, contrasting the narrator's raw vulnerability with the coldness of fame and superficial beauty. The song is often celebrated for its 3-stage evolution, and for good reason. The first section of the song has Prince singing in a delicate falsetto voice, and over time it leads into this intense performance. Those final 2 minutes are the best part of the song. His shrieking vocal deliver the emotional climax. It is a fantastic ballad and one of my personal favorites from him. Damn, there's a hybrid of rock and funk. This is just mind-blowing. The song itself began as a jam session at the warehouse in St. Louis I mentioned earlier. Keyboardist Dr. Fink wrote the signature bass groove, which Prince then built upon. The album version is heavily edited down from the original 14-minute suites. The full version includes a nearly 4-minute guitar feedback finale and a long spoken word dialogue between Wendy Melvoin and Lisa Coleman. This was one of the songs that was trimmed to make space for Take Me With You, which I mentioned earlier. Prince portrays himself as a sentient but broken CPU, with lyrics like, the intro has a ritualistic dominatrix style relationship, setting a tone of cold, calculated intimacy. In the extended version, the hallway speech details a house where halls are named after emotions like lust, fear, hate, and pain, representing the internal corridors of Prince's mind. The most prominent point on the track is the melodic bridge, which credits Prince's real-life father, John L. Nelson. The melody was based on a piano piece John Nelson wrote, which led to Prince transforming it into a soaring guitar solo. It also kind of ties into how it plays to the film, with his father is shown playing this melody on a piano during a moment of rare vulnerability. The structure of the song is also another highlight of the song, or rather the musicianship from Prince on here, as every member contributes in some way, shape, or form, as well as like a few other tracks on this record, like Wendy Melvoin on guitar, Lisa Coleman and Dr. Fink on keys, Brown Mark on bass, and Bobby Z on drums. Again, amazing show of musicianship. And as the track ends, we transition over into damn, he sounds sexy as fuck. While other tracks sound a lot more polished, this one is a lot more raw and lively. This was recorded at Prince's Kiowa Trail home and studio in Chanhassen in mid-1983. Susan Rogers notes that he recorded it by layering one instrument after another himself, showcasing his auditory imagery. The track ends with a bizarre foreign sounding passage. This is an intentional backmasking technique played forward. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, because I know that the Lord is coming soon. Coming soon. This illustrates Prince's lifelong habit of blending profane with the sacred. Lyrically, it's the most explicit track here. Let's hear that opening line. I knew a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. The song is a tale about him meeting her in a hotel lobby, taking him to her castle where he must sign his name on a dotted line. It portrays the woman as the sexual aggressor, which was surprising for 1984 because of this kind of song that was made the way it was in its lyrics. In 1984, it got to some controversy. No, not the album controversy. In late 1984, Tipper Gore brought Purple Rain for her 11-year-old daughter. She was appalled by the explicit lyrics about masturbation in Darling Nikki. This led her to be the co-founder of the Parents Music Resource Center, publishing a list of 15 filthy songs with Darling Nikki ranked at number 1. The ensuing Senate hearings and public spectacle eventually forced recording companies to voluntarily place the parental advisory label on albums that we know today. So yeah, Prince was the reason for that label. Take that for what you will. On the film for this song, Prince performs it in a club to humiliate his girlfriend, Apollonia, after learning that she had decided to work with his rival Morris Day. Now, I need to mention that the last leg of the song, it's mind-blowing. Like the guttural screams leading into that phenomenal finish with Prince playing this wild-ass fucking guitar riff. And overall, it's not only an incredibly sexy track, I mean, granted, I do like me some raunchy lyrics, but it's a mere taste of the best song next. What an example of a pure artistry, a timeless hit. Now, Prince played every single instrument on this track because of course he did. The entire track was written, recorded, and mixed in just 3 days. The main recording session lasted roughly 16 hours from 3 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. the next day. The most notable point of creating the song was the famous decision to remove the bass line. Wait, what? There's no bass? He decided to remove the bass because he thought it made the song sound too conventional. The central theme is fear of repeating parental mistakes. The crying doves represent 2 lovers mourning the loss of a relationship that was once pure. In a spiritual sense, the dove also alludes to purity and the human soul, suggesting that romance was meant to be despite the heartbreak. The lyrics blend formal, almost Victorian language when mentioning engaging in a kiss with some raw, vulnerable confessions, such as trembling inside. The song does play into the film, where Prince deals with his girlfriend, Apollonia, leaving him for a rival and his complicated relationship with his abusive father. What I'm about to mention is usually for the aftermath section of the video, but I think it's important to bring up. The song redefined pop by proving that a hit could be sparse, experimental, and baseless. It is without a shadow of a doubt his best song. I love the last section of it. The guitar solo doesn't sound like it's being repeated, just like with other songs, it has its own flair. Woo! Damn, another banger. This is one of these songs that I mentioned earlier about being part of that benefit concert. Keyboardist Dr. Fink and Prince were unable to play the song's rapid-fire bass line manually. To solve this, they used a groundbreaking setup for the time, an interface that locked a sequencer to the Linn LM1 drum machine, allowing for the perfectly synced but relentless rhythm heard on the record. Now, I have to talk about this goddamn Linn LM1 drum machine because it's all over this record. Prince is the most famously associated with it by programming sharp syncopation and a human feel into its mechanical sound. It was one of the things that helped define and create that Minneapolis sound that he coined. The lyrics moved beyond romantic love into the realm of spiritual and religious ideology. Prince inhabits the role of the entire Holy Trinity throughout the song. In the first verse, he acts as a forgiving God. In the second, he takes the role of Jesus fulfilling prophecy, and in the third, he morphs into a dove representing the Holy Spirit. I actually do love the opening line. He's deliberately tossing gender roles aside and human limitations in favor for a divine perspective. The core theme of the song is surrendering to God, and he presents himself as a human incarnate messenger, stating that divine love is unconditional and eternal, regardless of a person's bad or evil nature. It's an amazing song and a great transition over into this song has grown on me so much that I listen to it. Jesus Christ. The track is layered with funky guitar and synthesizers, which is accompanied by an exuberant horn section. It also includes a killer synthesizer solo from Dr. Fink on the back end. The song reflects on Prince's unshakable self-confidence in the years before he became a household name. He wrote the song as far as back as 1981, when he was only moderately famous. The hook of the song is literally a statement of his status at the time. Prince believed in a technique called visualization, where writing down his goals would help them come true. If this was a fucking manifestation of his fame, he sure as hell accomplished that with this project. Now, I love how the song plays as an incredible finale to the film. Like, as Prince repairs his relationship with his band, his girlfriend, and the performance looks so much fucking fun, bro. Prince is, who said Prince couldn't dance? He's absolutely hitting that shit. We're finally at the end. Finishing off with a powerful ballad. This blend of pop, rock, and gospel is otherworldly. Prince has explained that purple rain symbolizes the apocalypse, where red and blue mix to create a purple sky. The lyrics focus on letting faith or God guide you through chaos and apocalypse while being with the one you love. Purple rain also serves as a metaphor for emotional transformation, healing, and redemption, finding peace within a cleansing storm of love and spirituality. I absolutely love the composition of the song. The intro has the iconic chords that reel you in. I love when Prince showcases his vocal technicability. The vocals from the other band members are quite nice too, and the guitar solo and climax of the song is such an incredible way to finish this record, and doesn't overstay its welcome despite its 8-minute runtime. So that was Purple Rain. I gotta say, this was an incredible record. It showcased everything that Prince was known for and great at doing. The vocals, the production, and the showmanship for his band reigned supreme. Many of my favorite songs from Prince come from this project. It starts as strong as it finishes. And yeah, what an amazing pop record. Really a pop record, really for the ages. Like, one that is so good with over 40 years under its belt, I don't even think it sounds dated. Like, it's a timeless record. Prince's ambition and rapid perfectionism led to one of the greatest records of all time, hands down. And yeah, which is why I'll give this an S. Now we gotta talk about this aftermath. Prince became the first artist in history to simultaneously hold the #1 single with the song When Doves Cry, and #1 movie of the same name in the US. The album spent 24 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 and remained on the charts for a total of 122 weeks. Purple Rain has sold over 25 million copies worldwide. It was certified 13 times platinum in the US alone by 1996. The album produced 5 top 10 singles, including 2 two #1 hits with When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. Prince won the Oscar for Best Original Song Score for the film's soundtrack at the 1985 Academy Awards. At the 1985 Grammy Awards, he became the first black artist to win Best Rock Performance by a duo or group with vocals. He won 2 Grammys for the project overall. Now, despite the massive success, Prince quickly grew tired of the Purple Rain era. By the time he was touring to support it, he was already working on the psychedelic follow-up Around the World in a Day in 1985, seeking a completely new sound, which is also a good project. You should go check that out too. It's been a ride. It's been a wild one at that. Now, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please comment on what album you want to see me do, like these deep dives / reviews on next. Like and subscribe for more content. Lastly, do me a favor, stop existing and start living, because we only have one life until we all die. Like Prince said, when we do, what's it all for? As always, I'll see you on the next video. Cue the outro music. I didn't even tell Mochi thank you about playing that guitar riff in that intro, that montage. Wait, thank